It's 6:18 a.m. Your phone's still in night mode. That soft orange glow. You're standing in the hallway with one sock on, the other in your hand, and you've opened your payroll portal because you told yourself you'd finally set it up today. There's a tiny toggle. Automatic investing. A box already has a number, $25 per week. You stare at it and feel this weird pinch behind your ribs, like your body noticed the decision before your brain did. Part of you thinks, that's nothing. Part of you thinks, that's all I can spare. Your thumb hovers over confirm, and you catch yourself wondering, do I tap it? Or do I back out again and promise myself next week? Here's the thing nobody tells you. The frugal millionaire story usually isn't about a secret stock. It's about what I call the quiet decade rule. The first 10 years of compounding do more work than the last 10 years of effort. And most people don't notice until the number is too big to explain. I'm Mr. B. I'm fascinated by money and a little obsessed with financial psychology, why smart people feel stuck doing things they don't even agree with. If you like thinking about money this way, subscribe my channel. In a minute, I'm going to show you a one-page audit, 2 timelines, one small weekly amount, and the single line that quietly separates good saver from millionaire. And this is going to change your life forever. Let's start with time, the part that sounds boring but changes everything. Because compounding is like a snowball on a hill. When it's tiny, you can hold it in one hand and laugh at it. But the hill is doing the work, not your grip. The growth doesn't feel like growth at first. It feels like nothing is happening. Nothing. That's why this is so psychologically tricky. Your brain wants proof now, feedback now. And compounding, it's mostly silent for years. For years. So here's a picture to hold in your head. 2 people, same income, same discipline, same I'm trying to be responsible mindset. The only difference? When they start. Person A invests $250 per month from age 25 to 65. Person B invests the same $250 per month, but starts at age 35. No magic tricks. No perfect timing, just a 10-year delay. Now, before we even talk returns, notice what your brain does here. It doesn't feel like a 10-year delay. It feels like, I'll catch up later. That's time dilution. Your mind spreads the cost into a foggy future and treats it like it'll be painless. But compounding doesn't feel time the way you do. Let's do a quick, clean example. Assume 7% average annual return over the long run. That's just for illustration, not a promise, not a forecast. Person A contributes $250 times 12 equals $3,000 per year for 40 years. That's $120,000 total. Person B contributes $3,000 per year for 30 years. That's $90,000 total. So far, your brain is relaxed. The headline looks like savings, $120,000 versus $90,000. Now watch what the hill does. With compounding, that earlier start can produce something like $600,000 to $700,000 for person A versus $300,000 to $400,000 for person B. Same monthly amount, same return, half the outcome. And I want to be person A, you too, right? And here's the part people forget, fees. If person A pays a 1% all-in fee instead of 0.2%, that small difference can shave hundreds of thousands over decades. The snowball isn't just rolling. It's also leaking as it rolls. You following me? Most people fixate on the monthly contribution, but the real game is the total snowball you build after time and friction do their work. Why compounding feels like a scam at first? The rule isn't a formula. It's an attention rule. In the early years, you're not rewarded for being right. You're rewarded for staying in the game. In the later years, the same behavior suddenly looks genius because the numbers get loud. This is why compounding feels like a scam at first. You put in $250. The account moves by $14 one month, and you think, that's it? That's what all the fuss is about? Then a decade later, the same market move produces a swing bigger than your monthly contribution, and you finally feel what was happening all along. Here's the clarifier. Compounding is not fast money. It's delayed loudness. So why don't more people capture it? Because your life has other hills pulling your attention. Let's zoom into the most common leap. A fee presented as just 1% feels like dust, feels like nothing. But on a $400,000 portfolio, 1% is $4,000 per year. That's more than many people invest in a year. Your brain hears 1% and shrugs. Your statement hears $4,000 and doesn't tell you. And it's not only fees. It's the tiny defaults you accept without noticing. That $25 per week toggle you saw, that's a default. Defaults are powerful because they turn decisions into background noise. When the default is set in your favor, compounding gets to work quietly. When it's set against you, no auto invest, cash sitting idle, time still passes, but the snowball doesn't roll. What you feel? I'm being responsible because I intend to do it. What's real? Only what actually rolls downhill compounds. Does it make sense? It makes sense, right? Let me tell you the frugal millionaire story almost nobody wants to hear. It's not heroic, it's repetitive. A frugal investor doesn't win by being perfect. They win by being boring in a specific way. They protect the snowball from death by 1,000 small yeses. Because the real enemy of compounding isn't a crash. It's baseline creep. Picture an outflow list on your banking app. Subscriptions, upgrades, convenience fees, premium, plus, pro, delivery memberships, the insurance add-on you forgot to cancel. Each one is small enough to justify. Together, they become a permanent drain on the monthly amount that could have been rolling downhill for decades. And notice how your brain sells it to you. It doesn't say, I'm choosing to shrink my future options. It says, it's only 10 a month. It says, this will make life easier. It says, I deserve it. That's why this gets personal. Because it's not just money, it's identity. When you see yourself as responsible, every purchase becomes a courtroom. You defend the ones you want, prosecute the ones you regret. And the strange thing is, the snowball doesn't care about your story. It only cares about consistency and friction. Here's the contrast. The story you prefer is, I can always make it up with effort. The math says, later money has less hill to roll on. Social pressure sneaks in quietly. Someone at work leases a nicer car. A friend posts a vacation. Group chat starts talking about upgrades, and it sounds casual. You don't feel forced, you feel normal. And that's the identity tax. Your baseline shifts. And suddenly $250 per month feels too small to matter, even though it's exactly the kind of number that becomes huge over time. Let's bring the snowball back, because it helps you see what's invisible. When the snowball is small, you think your contribution is the hill. You feel like you're doing all the work. When the snowball is bigger, you realize the hill was doing most of the work. Your job was simply to keep it on the hill and keep it from melting. So the little-known rule is really this: protect the first decade. It decides what the next 3 decades can become. Not because you're special, because time has a non-linear payoff. Early years compound on early years, and that stack is hard to recreate. I'm not here to tell you what to buy or exactly what to do. This is education, not advice. But I am going to leave you with a diagnostic you can run on your own behavior. Ask yourself, what is currently acting like a snowball leak in my system? Is it a fee that feels like just a percent? Is it a default that leaves money idle because setting it up feels annoying? Is it subscription creep that turns 1 month into every month? Or is it identity pressure, spending to match the person you think you're supposed to be? And here's the most uncomfortable question. If you had to keep only one financial habit for the next 10 years, which one would you keep? Because it actually rolls the snowball, not just makes you feel responsible. Because that's the point. Compounding doesn't reward intensity, it rewards continuity. And the weird magic is this: when you protect that small weekly number long enough, you eventually reach a moment where the account growth starts to feel like it has its own engine. That's not magic. That's math plus time plus fewer leaks. So next time you see a tiny auto invest toggle, don't ask, is this too small to matter? Ask, is this the start of my first decade? Because the snowball doesn't need you to be impressive. It needs you to be consistent while it's still small. Just remember, consistent. If this way of thinking helps you stay rational and patient, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And if you want, tell me in the comments, what's the biggest leak you've noticed in your own system? Fees, defaults, subscriptions, or social pressure? Talk soon, and thank you for watching.